He was kissing someone else, but because of the low light, I couldn't see who it was. It all started when I was 16. I was in high school and had a few friends. I was very much of an introvert and was really shy around others. I sat in class before an office aide walked into the room and introduced a cute boy behind her to the class. Let's see, you can sit there. She pointed the seat next to me. I was getting more and more nervous as he came closer to me. I had never talked to such a handsome boy in my life. As our lesson continued, I felt a tap on my shoulder. "Hi, what's your name?" he asked as I turned towards him. We introduced ourselves, and boy, my stomach was full of butterflies. After class, I went back to my locker like usual to get my stuff before heading home. The voice behind me made me jump. It was him. "Do you want to join me and some friends to dinner? You could even bring a friend if you want to," he asked. I said yes to him without hesitating about it at all. "Well, see ya this evening." He smiled and left. Me though, I was standing there and blushing. I walked into the restaurant feeling so excited like I've never felt before. I saw him sitting with a few friends in the corner. I introduced myself and felt overwhelmed by how good looking they were. But as our conversation went on, I got more and more comfortable and we had a great time. We ate and chat until around 7. He offered me a ride seeing as I walked. I wanted to say yes to that offer so much, but on the other hand, I've just met him and I didn't want to take a chance. So he insisted he'd walk me home. We talked and laughed along the way. I felt like I never wanted that walk to end. That was the point where I started to fall for him. His smile, his laugh, the way the light hit his hair. He was perfect. "Maybe I can call you tonight?" he said as we stopped at my doorstep. Sure," I responded. Did he know that he was making me crazy? I thought to myself. A week after, we started hanging out more, but it was just the two of us now. We went to see a movie, eat, and did many fun things together. All was going so well, and I didn't remember feeling that happy for a while. "I really, really like you." He said it while we were on a sidewalk after a movie. "I think I really like you too." But before I could even finish my sentence, he leaned forward and kissed me. We started officially dating after that day, and even introduced each other to our families. Things were going so great, and I felt like I was the luckiest girl in the world until about 1 month into our relationship. That's when I began noticing some changes. He became so much less intimate. He barely touched me, so I brought it up. "Is there something wrong? You barely touch me these days," I asked. "There's nothing wrong, babe. Don't worry," he responded. He didn't say much and did what I wanted. He tried to be more intimate with me, though he did not seem to enjoy it. A month later was his birthday, and I planned to surprise him. I went out and bought a cake, and I also got him a watch that he really liked. This is about to become the best surprise ever. The day has come. I drove to his house with all the gifts in my hand, knocked on the door, and was super ready to surprise him. No one answered the door, so I used my key to enter. The house was in silence. I wasn't sure if he was even at home. I walked around the house, but I didn't find him, so I decided to walk upstairs to see if he was in the bedroom. I opened his bedroom door, and what I saw changed me forever. He was kissing someone else. But because of the low light, I could not see who it was. I was angry, so I turned out all the lights in the room and started yelling at him. "How could you?" I shouted. Then I looked at the person who was in bed with him, and that was not what I was expecting at all. He was kissing a boy. My face went pale. I didn't know what to think, and my feelings were all over the place. He tried to explain as I started crying, but I was not in a condition where I could listen to anything. I drove myself home, ran to my room, and exploded in tears. He sent me tons of texts throughout the day asking me to meet him for dinner and that he'd explain everything. I felt more calm after a while, and he surely owed me an explanation. So I agreed to meet him. I got into the restaurant, and he walked in shortly after. He sat down and asked if I was okay. "Just explain yourself," I responded. He started explaining that a few weeks ago he started feeling homosexual tendencies and started feeling attracted to guys. He told me he wasn't sure what he was feeling, so he kept it to himself, and that it was the first time he'd ever kissed a guy. The last thing he said, though, broke my heart in pieces. "I am so sorry, but I really liked it." He said ending our relationship would be best for both of us. As angry as I was, a part of me completely understood him. I accepted it after a while, and I wanted to support him because at the end of the day, he was still the man I really loved, and I told him that. We figured out everything together. I helped him tell his parents, and I supported him everything he needed. Not long after, he started going on dates. Some of them were good, some of them weren't. He didn't seem to really click with anyone until he met this guy. He was brown, curly hair, and a super great personality, and he told me he was looking forward to going on a second date with him. They started hanging out regularly and finally started dating. There was when he became the happiest man in the world. Seeing him with big smiles on his face, I am glad that he was honest to me about everything and that we figured it all out. We are now best friends, and I call this my happy ending story.